After 4 years and over 40 camping trips, how has the Bills bag held up, and would I still recommend it? I originally got this bag to keep my gear dry on backcountry fishing trips, and it's been through rocky portages and torrential downpours and tricky takeouts. And today, I'm gonna tell you what my long-term experience is with the Bills bag. The good, the not so good, and the repairable. By the way, my name's Ben and I'm a paddlehead, and on this channel you can find stuff about adventure fishing. Anyways, let's start off with the features and the facts about this bag. So this is a roll top design, meaning in order to seal the bag, you simply roll the top down. The material is made out of a PVC material called Topatex, which I'll get into a little bit more later on. I think it's like 21 grams. Anyways, I'll put the stats of like the weight of the stuff right down here. And then they've got these aluminum buckles on the side here with some nylon webbing to cinch the bag down and to tighten it down. And the back strap is all just like a combination of like nylon webbing and such, along with these buckles, aluminum buckles. The only thing that's not aluminum on here is the chest strap, the sternum strap here, and the buckles to cinch this down and tighten it up. It's available in a few different colors, and it's available in a 65 liter, which is what this bag is, and a 110 liter, and then a 110 heavy duty liter. 110 liter heavy duty version, I should say, which basically just has this tougher material here on the bottom. It just comes up the side of the bag a little bit further, so it can take a little bit more abuse. The strap here, the back strap, the harness here, it is removable, which can be useful if you're, flying and you don't want to have any kind of snag points. This bag would be a lot easier, I guess, to check in to the airport and for baggage handlers, I guess. Anyways, less snag points, so that can be good for some people. I haven't found too much use in that, but there you have it. Before we really get into the review here, though, I want to be fully transparent. This bag was given to me for free, kind of, by Zach from Frontenac Outfitters. This was early in my YouTube journey, and at the time, he just said, here, make a video about this and tell your audience about it. Hello and welcome to Conjuring Rock. Today, I want to tell you about the NRS Bills bag. And at the time, I didn't really feel comfortable recommending something that I haven't really used, especially something like this that's so crucial for keeping your gear safe and dry in the backcountry. So, as always, I'm going to give you my absolute honest opinion so you can make your own decisions on whether or not this bag is right for you. Technically, since Zach gave this to me to make a video, this is a sponsored video, but Zach from Frontenac Outfitters hasn't reviewed this video and he has had no say in the production of this video at all. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. My recommendation is based on a few key factors, which is all kind of tied to sustainability in a way. Will this last me a long time? Does it meet my needs now and in the future? And what's the brand's reputation like? You can tell a lot about a product and a brand just by the reputation and their history. NRS has its roots in river running. They've been around since 1972. They were created by Bill Parks. And yes, that's why this is called the Bills bag. Bill was an OG in the area. He was one of the first in his space as far as making gear specifically for river running. And this was actually one of his first products, the Bills bag. Fast forward to today, and NRS is actually 100% employee owned, which I think is pretty cool. Bill didn't want to see it just sold to the highest bidder, so he decided to sell it to his employees. So there's a bit of history there. So I feel confident that this bag will be around, as well as this company, for many years to come. Unlike Adam's Portage pack, he's got a bag from Mech, which he loves, but you can't get it anymore. And I'm sure that Mech wouldn't offer repairs on it. So I actually emailed NRS and I asked them about that, which I'll get to in a little bit here, but repairing the Bills bag is possible, which is super sweet. So what I think about this bag in a nutshell is it's a tough bag. It's served me really well over all the trips that I've had it on. I've taken it out on 99% of the camping trips that I go on, and it's always kept my gear dry through some torrential downpours and, some rough stuff. Sitting in the bottom of a canoe for hours upon end, soaking wet. I've never had an issue with my gear being wet. So I've read some reviews online of this bag sometimes leaking on some people and some people having water get in, which I think, for the most part, that could be just user error. This bag isn't exactly user-friendly. does take a bit of a trick in order to seal it properly, and there's a couple little nuances that you need to remember to make sure that it's watertight. So let's get into that, and I'll show you how to make sure that this is watertight. When you're packing this bag, you need to kind of make sure that it's leveled off at the top, roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. And also you can't really use this bag effectively if it's only half packed. This bag does need to be fully packed in order to properly work. So I usually put the bigger, bulkier stuff down at the bottom and closer towards my back. Side tip, actually, I usually put cutting boards straight down the back here, the part that's going to be right up against my back, because there's no additional padding here between you and the PVC and the gear inside. So I usually put some cutting boards down there, plastic cutting boards that are kind of bendy, and it's a lot more comfortable on the back. But heavy, bulky stuff at the bottom, closest to your back, and then as you get towards the top, kind of the smaller pieces. And when you get towards the top, you're kind of like Tetrising the pieces in to try and make it like mostly flat. You can really finish off the bag and make it very flat if you use something like a puffy jacket, or if you're keeping a rain jacket, that's something else that you can keep at the top, towards the top, so it's also easy access. I usually keep like my bathroom bag at the top, maybe a first aid kit, maybe my bug jacket, the kind of stuff that you want easy, quick access to. It is also great stuff to try and finish off the top of your bag here. Something that's on this bag that I haven't seen on other bags is this storm strip, they call it. And I've actually torn mine. They're kind of thin. I'm not sure how much extra waterproofing it offers. Adam's bag doesn't have something like this, and I've seen other Portage packs that don't have that similar thing. Maybe this is just some extra reassurance that it's going to stay waterproof, but I was actually lifting my bag once like this and it slipped out of my hands and I ended up catching it just by that, and that's how I ended up ripping that off. But I don't really think it's that crucial. Okay, next, how to close the roll top successfully. First, make sure that this is stuck together with the Velcro, and it's more of a fold than it is a roll, and you want to have 3 to 4 folds at minimum. So I start off with kind of one fold. I just take it and I don't worry about this flappy material really. I just kind of go around there, do one fold, push some air out, push some air out, and then I will kind of roll it down. But when you roll it down, you want to make sure that this is flat. You know, you've got no creases going like this, and you're just rolling it down, and you do at least 3 folds with it completely perfectly flat. And then look at that. That air's already trapped in there, and you can tell. So once you get it to there, just hook on the side pieces, cinch it down, cinch that down. Sometimes you can add in a little extra twist just to make sure that it really does stay closed on you. And then I like to put my PFD on top for portages, which is sweet with these top straps here. You can also throw a tripod up here or a sleeping pad if you have like a closed cell foam pad, one that can resist some water. And then you just strap it down and you're off to the races. You're beating it over that portage and chasing those big, beautiful bass or big, beautiful brookies or maybe Lakers, you know, whatever your flavor. You can chase them a lot easier. So before 1972, people were making their own kind of portage packs using old delousing bags, which you can see here. And what these are bags that the military would throw all of the clothing and bedding in there that were ridden with lice, infested with lice. They would stuff that into those bags. They would then put a glass vial of methyl bromide inside the bag, and then they would close up the bag, roll the top down, smash the vial, and then the vial would kill all the lice on the inside. And when they were done using these bags, paddlers were finding them in the military surplus. Eventually, the military phased these out, and paddlers were having a harder time getting a hold of them. So that's when Bill kind of filled that need and brought about the Bill's bag. Kind of cool, eh? Kind of gross, too. Personally, the roll top is one of my favorite designs. I feel very confident in the seal that it provides, and I like the big open space for packing and getting the big bulky items in there. It can really be adjusted to fit your needs depending on what kind of camping trip you're going on. I have this bag currently packed as if I would be going on like a a weekend trip. So I actually have a 2-person tent in here. I have a -7-degree bag. I've set this up so that I'm actually ready for cold weather camping. I'm going camping in a couple of weeks with Kevin Callan and some buds. One underappreciated fact about this bag that I like versus other kind of bags is that if this does happen to get dropped into some mud or something, it's easy just to wipe off, which is very likely to happen when you're hitting a bunch of portages and different takeouts. Sometimes they can be very muddy and messy, and this just simply just hit it with some water and it rinses off. It's not a bag with cloth where it's gonna take in all that dirt and look like crap and spread onto your other gear. It does take to scuffs kind of easily, but I'm really not that picky. I don't care if my bag looks a little used. I like signs of wear. But I'm sure you could clean that up pretty easily if you wanted to, maybe even with like a Mr. Clean magic eraser or something. I started to see some wear and tear really start to show on it at the beginning of this season. And after 9 camping trips and 31 days in the backcountry, I haven't had any issues with it. It's been in some rain, lots of messy stuff, and I've never had an issue with gear getting wet or anything. It's been great, no issues. When you look closely at this material, it's interesting. It looks like it's kind of like a laminate. So I originally thought that this was developing holes because you can see areas here where it's showing through this kind of like white fiber, almost this like weaved fiber. So I actually emailed NRS about this because I thought that I would have to, do some repairs on this bag when I first saw this. And I asked them, do you repair Bill's bags? And they said yes. I said, if I wanted to repair it myself, is that possible? And how would I do that? They recommended something called Tear Aid, which is this product here, Tear Aid Type A. And I've used a product just like this before. There's also something called Tenacious Tape by Gear Aid. And yeah, you just basically clean the area that you want to apply this to and you peel and stick, kind of like tape. So it's super easy to apply, super easy to fix. So I'm actually gonna be keeping this in my repair bag that I bring camping with me so that if I ever need to repair this in the field, I can easily do that with this tape. I also kind of like that about this bag in general and roll top bags in general is they're super simple and very easy, I would imagine, to repair in the field if anything were to break. I'm sure it'd be simple to do a makeshift repair that's good enough to at least get you out of there with all of your gear without you having to bear hug it and walk it out. That would be rough. But I think that this would be super simple to repair, and I kind of dig that. Again, feeds into the idea of sustainability, but it also is very practical for when you're in the backcountry. So the material here, Tobatex, I couldn't find a lot of information online about this. So when I emailed NRS, I asked them, and they said it was a proprietary PVC material that they developed in cahoots with their manufacturer. So they didn't really want to tell me too much about it, but they said it's a DEHP-free PVC. Basically, to sum that up, the pipes in your house are made out of PVC, most likely. A lot of the plumbing nowadays is made out of PVC. DEHP is this other chemical compound that they add to that in order to make PVC soft and pliable. Well, I guess this is DEHP free, which is a good thing. DEHP has been known to cause a whole bunch of problems with cancer and gross stuff that you don't want anything to do with. So to know that this is not using that harmful chemical, that's a little bit more reassuring. I mean, it is still PVC. PVC is probably one of the worst plastics out there as far as trying to produce it and destroy it. But the fact that it's repairable, the fact that I should be able to own just one, maybe, my whole life, as long as this lasts me a long, long time and I don't have to replace it, I think it's the kind of best option I have right now, apart from trying to use some kind of hemp backpack or something like that. But we're not going there, not yet. I actually saw one review that mentioned that their bag was over 20 years old and it had just started to develop a hole up near the handle that they haven't been able to repair themselves. So one thing I do miss about this bag sometimes is not having a hip belt or a hip harness on this, just to try and lift the weight a little bit more onto my hips rather than having it all on my shoulders. It would be nice sometimes. I am able to pack this bag pretty full and get it can be quite heavy at times. Although I've been able to trim that down, it still would be nice sometimes to have that hip harness. Now, because this bag lacks support with no hip belt or back padding, it's kind of less comfortable for carrying over super long distances. So I would really only recommend this for paddling trips. I would not recommend this for someone planning trips with very long portages or multiple long portages in a day. The 110 liter versions of this bag have a hip belt, but not the 65 liter. And the fact that this is removable is kind of annoying sometimes, because you'll go and pick up the bag either going from the canoe to the portage or from the portage onto your back, and one of these straps could come off and you got to set the bag down and click it back in, and then you're off to the races again. But yeah, I mean, it's not that big of a deal in my eyes. I don't really mind it that much. It's something I can deal with. But yeah, this is my Bill's bag, and I really dig it. I think it's kind of cool. If you want to see how I actually packed this bag to make it possible to keep 3 to 4 days worth of stuff in it, check out this video that's popping up right now, or you can check out one of the adventure fishing trips where I use this backpack, popping up right there. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.